Smarter Energy Services has been serving New York options for a sustainable, long-lasting future, both financially and energy-wise. They offer long-term solar solutions in a way that's more accessible for everyone. Here to tell us more is their solar consultant, Anthony Torres, and their solar sales manager, Jared Logan. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, obviously, to start, give us a little brief introduction into the company and obviously what it means.
So with Smart Energy Services, a big thing for us is that we want to make sure that the message that's available out there for solar really gets transmitted to all groups. I think a lot of times, unfortunately, people who kind of look like us really don't get the messaging that makes sense. And sometimes, they can get targeted in ways that, don't really serve the community in a way to really spread information that can help them positively. So we want to make sure that we get the message across in that way, and that we also are able to do it in a way that is very transparent. I've been in sales for a long time, and the biggest thing for me is that, my name is worth more than the company I work for, so that I want people to trust in what I'm saying to them. And the only way to do that is to really get the message out there in a way that people can understand and they feel comfortable in absorbing the information.
Yeah, now, of course, being around since 2010, what makes Smarter Energy Services, you'd say, different from other energy providers or consultants?
Well, we approach the business in a couple of different ways. We work with homeowners in terms of multifamily and single-family homes, but we also work with small businesses as well, which is different than many companies that are out there. We also work with different types of roof surfaces. So there are many in the tri-state area, there are many flat roofs. So we're happy to work on those. And the more traditional shingle roofs, we certainly work on those, even if they are slate or clay tile roofs. And we also do a lot of work in terms of making sure that the home is suitable for solar. So if we needed to do work on the roof or any sort of tree trimming or things like that, we would do that. Something we're also known for is our customized jobs.
Okay.
So if we needed to do a ground mount or a canopy job, something specialized for your property, we can do that. So we have a lot of flexibility. Additionally, we have community solar options for people, right? So if you're not able to control your property or the roof space on your property, primarily, but anything, we can help you with that. So that applies mostly to, say, renters, be you an individual, family, or a business.
Yeah, and I mean, when you talk about obviously consumers, businesses, especially like small businesses as well, when we hear about solar energy or energy, we think about cost.
Correct.
So how are you making it also saving them energy in the long, pricing, finances in the long run, how are you saving them, you'd say?
So when we do consultations, or when I do consultations, I like to focus on three things, basically. Do we produce all of your energy? Right, that's a big key. Okay, do we save you on month one? Right, that's another key. And the ultimate key, leading to your point, is the fixed price. All right, Con Edison raised rates short of 50% last year, and they just announced they want to do another double-digit increase this year. All right, so you can protect yourself through consistent pricing with solar. So it's not just saving on the month; it's just knowing that your number's there next month, next year, next decade.
Yeah, and I was reading, obviously, there is a idea that basically over time it will pay itself off, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you
Correct.
talk about that? How long does that, in a sense, take?
Typically, when you look at a normal system for, say, a homeowner, solar, usually the return on investment is usually between year 7 to 8. So people often look at that and say, hey, that's a long time to wait. But realistically, the solar systems that we install, or just in general, are designed to last for, upwards of 30 to 40 years. So, when people say that, I'm like, hey, listen, you're getting a system that's going to last as long as like an 89 Honda. It's going to be there forever. It's going to do what it's got to do. 8 to 9 years down the line is a much better turnaround than just paying the utility month over month and really not seeing anything from it. We want to make sure that, just like when you put investments in your home of like building a deck or adding new windows, you want it to mean something long term. What does it really turn into? This more directly correlates the money back into your pocket. So giving people the option so that they understand that there is an investment in some instances, but realistically, like, it's going to pay you off in a short period of time. Next time you turn around, your bill's going to be just about drastically, dismissed.
And just to add to Jared's point, many of our customers that we've presented to, they'll see over the 20, 30-year period a savings of 60 grand or more.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's
Right.
obviously, in a sense, a return on investment, right? When
Correct.
you're looking upfront to do something like this. Now, of course, there is also this concept of smart technology. Talk to me about how that plays a part in as well saving energy for consumers.
Well, I think a big thing with, smart tech, as far as the different uh, features and elements you can look into, we always recommend people looking at different technology. So obviously solar is there to do what it does, but we always recommend people looking at like smart thermostats, which allow them to kind of control that. It tweaks itself. It kind of measures what you're doing and making modifications that way. And just also looking at any everyday investments as far as like LED lights, new windows and doors, things to make sure that the technology that's out there, utilize it. There's apps out there that you can use that can monitor your energy use and give you direct feedback on your phone to tell you, hey, at this time of day, there's usually peak hours. You might want to turn off, unnecessary pieces of appliances or equipment in your home to make sure that you're mitigating the amount of extra cost that you might be seeing.
Yeah, you talked about some of these things that obviously we're hearing more about, but there's also AI involved. And when you talk about AI, how is it incorporated into these energy saving solutions, you'd say as well?
I know for us, we typically only use AI in small pieces as far as for the work that we do. With the design software that we do utilize when we're creating a person's solar design and their overall proposal, there is AI technology implemented in there to help us come up with a more accurate and more precise design to make sure that when we're presenting to a customer, they really see the benefits that go along with that.
Yeah. Now, of course, we are hearing a little bit about the technology, how it works. Any success stories that you can maybe share with us that you've seen in past clients as well?
Well, definitely. I mean, aside from just the rooftop solar, this past summer we actually did a program across the entire city where we went to low to moderate income apartment complexes and helped people enroll for community solar. So with these individuals, they had to be either utilizing like government programs like SNAP or TANF, or be enrolled in like heat or energy assistance programs. For those individuals, when they enrolled, they're going to receive a 20% discount on their Con Edison bills each month for the next 20 years. So it's a huge impact as far as how much we can help them save. We did about a total of about 256 enrollments. 170 of those were actually here in the Bronx. We're looking to launch another program, hopefully by the end of Q1, that'll be able to fit another 150 or so individuals. And then best case scenario, by the summertime, we might have space for another 500 citywide.
Okay. And even when you talk about some of these initiatives as well, there are government incentives, rebates that we're seeing that customers have. Talk to me a little about how they can take advantage of it. I know you broke down some of the like SNAP as well, or these like kind of qualifications. Can you break that down a little bit more?
Right. So when we walk through, we usually deal more with not necessarily like the SNAP and EAP, but we deal more with, say, here in the city, we're very lucky. So we have the city and the state and the federal government that believe in what we're doing in terms of sustainable energy and clean energy. So Uncle Sam will provide 30% of the system installation costs for that homeowner to be able to subsidize that system. So say, for instance, it's a $30,000 system, you get $9,000 from the federal government.
As a tax credit.
As a tax credit. On top of that, the state gives you a tax credit that's capped at $5,000, so it's in addition to that. All right, so under that same model, you have a $30,000 system now that is costs $21,000 from after the Fed, and then $16,000 after the state comes in. So you see how they help you subsidize the cost of that. The city then helps you save with your property tax, which is something we really like to highlight with our homeowners. It's a big source of savings. So the city does similar to what the federal government does. They look at 30% of the cost of the system. All right, so in the same example, you get a $9,000 property tax reduction on a $30,000 system, and that gets broken into 4 years. So people save, in that example, a little over $2,200 a year for 4 years.
Yeah, and when we obviously hear about these government incentives, there's also a utility savings program. What does that look like for a consumer that wants to look into this as well?
Well, the utility savings programs, how those kind of work out is like you have EAP, which is Energy Assistance Program, or HEAP, Heat Energy Assistance Program. So those are definitely something that individuals should look into no matter what. We always recommend going to your regional clean energy hub. We actually work with the Queens and Staten Island one currently, and we're working on getting implemented with the Bronx and Brooklyn one. But individual homeowners, renters, co-op owners, they can easily apply. It's free to apply. It's income based, and if they do qualify for it, they get direct discounts on the utility bill. And then that also correlates to when we do our community solar programs, like the one I mentioned earlier with the low to moderate income. If people are part of those programs, they automatically will qualify for the higher percentage discount through the community solar programs that we do offer.
Okay. Now, obviously, when we talk about finances, we talked about smart technology. Things are kind of shaping, evolving every time. What trends do you see that are going to be coming up that are, in a sense, shaping energy efficiency?
Well, I think a big thing is that, especially nowadays, whenever you go to like a Best Buy or, I was going to say Sears, but that shows how old I am. But, you see all the appliances out there now are Energy Star rated. You can get windows that are Energy Star rated. I had a family member that recently bought a much older home, had to do full renovations, so new roof, new windows, new installation. So I think the biggest thing is that when people are looking to first and foremost, like where they move, New Yorkers, a good percentage of us rent. So looking to move into a building, you want to look at a building that's been Energy Star rated, that has LEED ratings, to make sure that, when you're there, that the cost that you're spending on what you're doing in that apartment or in that co-op or in that condo is it energy efficient? Are the appliances there? Or do you have a washer, dryer? Are they also rated to make sure that you as your individual, if you don't want to basically put a strain on the grid, making sure that you're using technology that kind of doesn't do that.
Yeah. Now, of course, before we wrap, Anthony, anything you would give people advice as well if they're looking into becoming more energy conscious in their daily life?
Well, just to build on some of the things that Jared said in terms of taking advantage of what the state regulatory authority, NYSERDA, provides for people in terms of funding to be able to make your home more efficient. Your local utility will do that. So Con Edison has solutions for people to be able to help them be more efficient in their homes, insulate their homes, things along those lines. Providing LED bulbs, making sure that you change your filters, and your HVAC systems and things along those lines. So again, those are resources that are out there that are free and that we're being incented to take advantage of.
Yeah. Well, once again, thank you so much, Anthony, Jared, for just sharing more about the organization, of course, and how we can learn more. Okay. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Jonathan.
If you are interested in learning more about their services, please visit their website at smarterenergyservices.com. We have to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Open after this.